Hello, Lacrosse friends, and welcome back to Lacrosse Link. It is episode 5. I am Steven Stamp, joined by Tanner Fetch. This week, great show. There was some excitement among New York Saints fans as that old NLL franchise kind of came to the fore with Boston Bruins coach Bruce Cassidy saying that the New York Islanders portray themselves as the New York Saints. He wasn't actually referring to the lacrosse club, but the old NLL team has gotten some exposure from it. And Sal LoCascio was the all-pro goalie from that team. I had a great conversation with him. And Tanner gets together with another great lacrosse pro in Jeff Shattler to talk, standing Buffalo and Anishinaabe, and a lot of stuff going on for Jeff Shattler beyond just his pro lacrosse playing himself. So stick with us. It's a great episode. Lacrosse Link.
Beautiful play, Aaron Gray Eyes. He is having himself a tournament.
So he's definitely physical, athletic, and somebody to be watching for.
In the middle, it just bounces off, but it's picked up and scored.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
All right, lacrosse fans, here I am, joined by Jeff Shattler. If you don't know who Jeff Shattler is, I'm sure you do. Professional lacrosse player for the Saskatchewan Rush in the National Lacrosse League and on the world stage representing the Iroquois. Welcome to the show, Jeff.
Thanks for having me, buddy. Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for the opportunity.
Well, anytime. It's always a pleasure to chit chat with you. Whenever we get to meet face to face, it's going to be even more exciting for sure. So right now, Jeff, you currently sit with 845 points in 229 games, the highest point leader for an Indigenous player in the National Lacrosse League. You think you're going to keep this going and break that 1,000-point mark?
Well, that's the plan, man.
Yeah.
Here's wishing. Honestly, I've told myself, this will be my last year. I'm just getting too busy with work and my boys, and I don't want to take that time away from my kids. I enjoy my time with my kids. Anytime I have free time, it's with my boys and my wife. And unfortunately, I love the game of lacrosse, but I think I found what my future holds, and that's coaching. I enjoy coaching. I'm getting older. I ain't getting any younger, so I'm going to take one good solid run at it. I talked to Coach Keenan. We are ready to rock for this upcoming year. But yeah, that's my that's my plan. And sometimes things change. You never know. But just in general, my kids they need their dad around, and me leaving on the weekends is just not fair to them. So I'm going to sacrifice playing. I think I've had a really good career. I think I've accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. I'd love to take one more run at it and see what happens.
For sure. I mean, I don't see you settling down at all. You still got it, but for the family, for the kids, of course. I feel like you're a Yarmer Yager. You're just going to keep going one more till it's, keep it going.
Man.
But we'll see. We'll see how it unfolds.
I don't got the flow like Yager though, buddy. Hey?
You can still grow it out.
I'm trying though, man. I got a little flow, man.
There you go.
It's working. It's getting
There
hot.
you go. I see your kids got the same kind of haircut too, like father, like sons, right? So
yeah, he's a little beauty. Those ones, yeah, they're awesome.
And so, Jeff, you're settled right into Saskatchewan. You're coaching the Standing Buffalo First Nations lacrosse program. You're running Shattler Academy down in Regina. Tell us a little bit about what impact you're making down there with those lacrosse athletes down in Regina, down in Standing Buffalo.
Well, we got very fortunate. Regina Sports Performance out here was just built. We have indoor turf. We have state-of-the-art, gym. There's 2 different gyms in there. We got tracks. We got everything you could ask for an athlete. So we got very, very fortunate to be brought into that, into that facility. We are running throughout the winter. We have just a Shattler Lacrosse Academy winter program, and then we have our elite program. End goal is bringing 2 teams or even 3 down to California next year. We were going to try to do it this year, but with COVID and guidelines and insurance, it just doesn't make sense. But Cali Lax out there, there's Colorado has some tournaments, Minnesota. So I've been talking to a couple of boys that I've played with in the past, and I've got the invite. And I want to bring these kids out to get a good experience. The Try Lacrosse program, we're trying to hook up with the Dreamcatcher Fund Foundation now, and we're just getting so busy that like I said, work and family, and then I don't really have much free time other than that. So it's been the whole the southern part of Saskatchewan has really taken in the academy, and it's only going to get bigger. Warrior just jumped on board with us. We got a body tempering guy that comes in and rolls our players out, and parents are loving it. So we're trying to give that professional feel for the kids.
For sure. And those tournaments that you were talking about, are those box lacrosse or field?
Yeah, it's going to be box lacrosse. We are looking at getting some field teams as well, but we don't want to we don't want to just jump right into it. We want to make sure that our box program is up and running and it's running well. Kids are enjoying it. And then if the need for field lacrosse comes in, we would like to put a couple teams together and travel, right? Get these kids an opportunity to, see some scouts. It's pretty tough for scouts to come down to Saskatchewan. Not a lot of people come down to Saskatchewan to come check out the boys, and so we need to go to them. And that's my plan. I want to create some travel teams. I want to give these guys opportunities, and I want to give them, opportunities for scholarships, for sure.
For sure. And speaking of coaching and scholarship opportunities, the World Junior Lacrosse Championship and the World Stage, which is set to be in Winnipeg this year. I guess we'll see how things unfold. But you are coaching the Anishinaabe team. Hopefully I didn't mispronounce that, but I believe that's the team, and you're taking the reins for that. How's that going there, and how are things shaping up for Winnipeg?
It's good. It's good. We had to pick our teams through Zoom, and which, in any scenario, it doesn't make sense. So it's a really, really tough year with COVID-19 and all this craziness. But I think next year we'll be up and running full term, ready to rock. We're going to be, we have kids we can pick from all over, all the way down to California, right through South Dakota, Canada. Like it's crazy how many kids that are spread out and how far they are. So we have to have training camps, 4 different ones for all the kids that are out there. We need to take an honest look at them, and we want to go in thinking that we could, stand up with the Canadian, the USA, Iroquois. We don't want to just be a part of the tournament. We want to be a threat. So I think we have an opportunity at it. I think it's going to be a really cool opportunity for myself. Put that on the resume. I think it'd be really, really cool. My first time stepping in as a head coach. I just do everything in the background, almost a practice coach. But I think it's going to be a really, really cool opportunity. We got Amy Caines as our defensive coordinator, and then our offensive coordinator is Roger Weiss. So, 2 really, really good guys to be a part of the squad. And Isaiah is looking after everything on the back end. So we got a pretty good team on the bench, and now we just need to put a good team on the floor.
Well, there you go. Just like we did at the Junior NLL, co-coaches right here, along with my brother Brady, the 3 of us running the bench there. So if you need another coach, don't be afraid to give me a call. All right.
Will do, buddy. Will do, man.
Yeah, awesome, Jeff. Sure. Well, I'll make sure you're at the rink right now. I can hear the balls going up the glass and the boards. The kids are a little antsy for sure. They want their coach back, so I won't hold you up any longer. Thank you so much for jumping on the Crosslink, and we'll talk again soon.
Heck yeah, buddy. We'll talk to you later.
Take care.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Bye.
Hi, this is Jaden with Al Anderson Source for Sports. Excited to tell you that we got all our new lacrosse product in for this upcoming season. Whether you're playing box or field, our lacrosse experts are going to make sure we get you into the right equipment to elevate your game. At Al Anderson Source for Sports, we know our stuff.
Joining us on a Lacrosse Link is Sal LoCascio. Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Steven, thanks for having me. Looking forward to the conversation today. Sorry I'm a little hoarse. We had a big high school win for my son's team, and I'm that screaming lunatic up in the fans, so the voice is gone a little bit today.
I have been the screaming lunatic as well, and I know exactly how you feel. I have to be careful these days as an announcer. So glad to have you on, even if you're a bit hoarse. And just to set the scene for folks who aren't familiar with it, I think most lacrosse folks have probably heard about this, but New York Islanders playing the Boston Bruins in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and Bruce Cassidy, the Bruins coach, says basically that the Islanders paint themselves as not the Islanders, but the New York Saints, that they never do anything wrong, shouldn't ever be penalized. And he thinks it affects how their games are called. Pretty clear he didn't know about the Lacrosse New York Saints team. He was just referring to them as angelic, but it really caught on, and it's been pretty fun. And of course, the Saints did play in Nassau Coliseum, where the Islanders play, from 1989 to 2003, and probably the most renowned Saints player, 5-time All-Pro goalie, and NLL Hall of Famer, Sal LoCascio. And you've been having some fun with this.
I sure have been. And it was game 5, right? Watched the game. It was a big win by the Islanders in Boston, right? And I didn't watch the post-game shows. And I love hockey. And honestly, it doesn't matter who's playing. I really enjoy watching hockey games. And to me, there's a lot of similarities between hockey and box lacrosse. And then when I woke up the day after the game, I had a LinkedIn request from somebody from Newsday. I'm like, I wonder what they want. And then I get to my cell phone, and there's all these messages. It took me a while to piece it all together, what was kind of what was going on. And so I had a little fun with it with the local newspaper down here, a couple things on TV. Bruce Cassidy probably knows who the New York Saints are now. And he probably wish that he had chosen a different acronym other than Saints to describe the Islanders.
Yeah, he got fined $25,000, which, and everyone's saying, the NLL probably got $25,000 or more worth of publicity out of the whole thing. And obviously having a lot of fun. It seems like it's brought back some memories, connecting a lot of the old Saints players as well. I've been hearing, the story in Newsday, the stories appearing in the Globe and Mail, which is a major newspaper in Canada, all over the place. Gavin Prout being quoted, and all kinds of other players.
Yeah, it's been a few years since I've been involved with box lacrosse, but it brought back a lot of memories, and then a lot of guys, catching up with each other. Actually met Rob Cotignato in the VIP suite, and had a little bit of food and a couple of beverages with him, and a whole bunch of us were going back and forth on different text messages. And to be honest, we had a great run at the Coliseum, and there was a period of time where we did really well from an attendance perspective. There were some games where at the time where we would outdraw the Islanders, who would play a night before or a night after. And although we never brought a championship there, was really proud because the team was made up of primarily field lacrosse players who were trying to make that transition, and something I took a lot of pride in, being an elite field goalie. I wanted to turn into an elite box goalie as well. So a lot of good memories were clearly stirred up, and now it's got me thinking about the Riptide and what they're doing, and really trying to turn the franchise around, and hopefully some of the connection with the history of kind of the New York organization. I guess we could just leave the names out. Maybe that, some of the connection with, some of the pioneers early on can help draw some of that field lacrosse fan base back out to the Coliseum, because box lacrosse it's a great sport. It's exciting. It's physical. It's affordable. I just hope more and more people get out and support it.
So many things you mentioned that I want to touch on. One is, you think matching the Islanders in attendance. Well, over the last several years, that might not have been as much of a feat. I mean, they've had some issues, but you guys started in 1989. That is not that long after the Islanders won 4 straight Stanley Cup championships. They were a big deal. So getting those kind of crowds was a big deal. also you were an elite field lacrosse goalie and you became an elite box lacrosse goalie. Obviously, you're a Hall of Famer. So again, that worked out pretty well for you. And you mentioned, meeting up with some of the guys, and that was that at Game 6 you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. So
and it was I was not going to the game. I was
Right.
not going to go to the game. Like I'm just I enjoy watching them at home with the kids. And then so I'm part of Team 91, which is the biggest travel program here in the States. And the guys in the office are like, oh no, we're taking the staff out. You're bringing out your jersey and you're going to the game. And I'm like, wait a minute, my jerseys are all in frames, like hanging up, like So it was funny when I'm like, all right, which jersey do I actually take out? So I took the oldest one out, which was the smallest one that I could wear. That I would look reasonable, without all the padding underneath. So it was fun stuff.
And you guys weren't the only ones wearing jerseys, right? I heard there were t-shirts and jerseys, kind of a lot of them in the Coliseum, and chants of New York Saints. Again, maybe the crowd didn't know what they were referring to, but it must have been brought back memories for that too.
I can't tell you how many people stopped me. Now you have to realize that Long Island is one of the meccas of field lacrosse, right? And so I probably took 20 pictures with people, had multiple conversations. Some people just either recognized my face from the article in Newsday, or some other folks who just know my name, through the lacrosse circle. So, it was fun for a night. My hope is maybe we're some sort of a vehicle, right, that can help, bring the spotlight to the Riptide, and then hopefully the Riptide can capitalize on that and draw some fans back out.
The Riptide recently signed first overall draft pick Jeff Teat to a 2-year contract. And this kind of came up when we were talking in the press conference about that, and talking to Rich Lisk and Brett Malamud, Rich Lisk is the vice president of GF Sports and oversees the Riptide, and Brett Malamud does the media, and they've been saying they planned to connect with the Saints, to make those connections, to go down that road. But this has expedited the process. They're like, well, I guess we do this now. And they're trying to get things rolling. So what's your connection with the Riptide? I know you're a fan.
Yeah, so I really don't have any connection with the Riptide. I heard from them for the first time about a week ago. And look, I'm a fan of lacrosse, okay? And I love box lacrosse. And I just think it can sell. I think that style of game at the time of the year that they're playing can really draw fans. And to be honest with you, it's a heavy Canadian influence on their staff, right? So Jimmy Veltman is a legend in the box lacrosse circles. I don't know Jimmy personally, but we've competed against each other. And the guy is what I remember most about him is he was a ground ball machine. It was like his stick had a magnet, right? And then the head coach, Dan Ladisor, plays the game with, he was supporting his teammates, right? Played with an edge. He was a guy who was always there to stand up for his teammates and did it the right way. He wasn't going after, one of the small guys on another team or something. You know what I'm saying? He was I respected the way he played. Look, if I were running the organization, I would do more to reach out to the field piece, and maybe they could get somebody, in the Long Island market that's a recognizable name to help with the community. But from a purely building a winning team, they're bringing in the right guys, right? Jimmy Veltman knows a little something about how to win in box lacrosse, and so does Dan. And hopefully things will go well for them. And well as how do you measure well? How well they do in the field? How well they do, in the with tickets.
Sal LoCascio, that's all the time we've got, but really great to have you on and to touch base. This is our first time talking, and it feels like it's just so much fun to talk about lacrosse again, and it feels like an old friend anytime we get to talk about these things.
Yep, awesome. I really appreciate you reaching out. Enjoyed chatting with you, and hopefully we'll see you at a Riptide game this year.
Hi, this is Jaden with Al Anderson Source for Sports. Excited to tell you that we got all our new lacrosse product in for this upcoming season. Whether you're playing box or field, our lacrosse experts are going to make sure we get you into the right equipment to elevate your game. At Al Anderson Source for Sports, we know our stuff.
Welcome, lacrosse fans, to the rundown section here at the end of the Lacrosse Link show. Once again, we have a big one here for you. The National Lacrosse League Panther City expansion draft is coming up, and the protected players list have been announced. The options were for the teams was 5 offense, 5 defense, 1 goalie, or 5-0 and 6D, or 4 offense, 7 defense, 1 goalie, or 4-0 and 8D. 2 teams didn't select goalies this year was Saskatchewan and Georgia. And then some rookies were taken in Jeff Teat, Marshall Palace. And you have some insight into the rookies who weren't protected.
Yeah, to me, one of the most interesting things is the 2020 draft players, because the teams haven't even had a chance to see them in a training camp yet, let alone playing in any games. So 13 of the 16 first rounders from last year's draft were protected. The 3 who weren't, and obvious candidates to be taken by Panther City, are number 11 overall Ethan Riggs from Halifax, number 13 overall Lane Rushka from Georgia, and number 16 overall Jackson Subak from Philadelphia. Also interesting, the first 2 second rounders, number 17 Matt Boissonneau from New York and 18 Ron John from Colorado, were protected. 2 more second rounders were also protected, both by New York, Andrew Borgatti at 29 and Larson Sundown at 36. So lots more analysis to come. And next week, we'll have Bob Hamley, the Panther City GM, on the show. So we'll be talking lots of NLL expansion. We're going to jump to some field lacrosse. Lyle Thompson, I'm going to start with, was wearing an orange ribbon at the end of his braid in the PLL on the weekend. And that was to speak for the children who didn't come home, the bodies that were found, the 215 in Kamloops, and now there's just so many more coming, and we know there are going to be a lot more. And kudos to him. And it's a national shame for Canada, and I just hope that the attention being drawn to it will make some things happen. It needs to be dealt with.
I have to agree with you, Stamper. There's multi-generational trauma that is caused from the residential schools in the 60s scoop. Lyle's braid and the ribbon was a testament to how important this is for reconciliation and in honor of those children who didn't come home. And I'm hoping that we can make headway together and find something positive where we can all work towards and heal as a group. And then speaking of Lyle Thompson, we got to see him in the PLL lacrosse action. I'll just recap the scores quickly here. This was in Atlanta, Georgia at Fifth Third Bank Stadium. The Water Dogs beat the Chaos 14-12. We had an overtime in the second game, 15-14 Whip Snakes over the Cannons. The Atlas beat the Redwoods 12-9. 14-9, the Water Dogs came out on top over the Chrome, and 12-8 Archers over the Chaos. The Archers remain undefeated, the only team undefeated thus far. It's been an exciting weekend of action here. So every weekend, it's like NFL football. You look forward to it all week, and then you get to watch the best take the field.
Yeah, one thing that jumped out for me, a couple of Water Dogs wins. They get rolling after a bit of a struggle last year in their expansion season, and the big game on NBC's main network going to overtime, as you mentioned, and there was a lot of excitement, and they're really building. So we'll see how things go. Now they take a week off, and then in a couple of weeks there's the next round. I'm going to go to another cause. It's a big cause week for me, and I just want to share with everyone about Jake Thompson. He and his brother Zach are the founders of Bumpy Road Video Productions. They've been doing things like the Courier Brothers videos that have been popping up around. They're doing something they love. A couple of Orangeville brothers who are very good lacrosse players. Jake, unfortunately, has been diagnosed with ALS, better known as Lou Gehrig's disease. And there is a fundraiser that's been set up to help him out. So if you can and you want to, just encourage everyone to come together the way the lacrosse community does behind Jake Thompson. We'll have the link to joinjake.org up on the screen.
That is a sad story. And you know what? The one positive here is that the community is coming together in his GoFundMe page, which has raised $150,000 so far out of the $500,000 goal. And again, like Stamper said, we will have the link on our website. So if you are interested in participating to help Jake, you can find the information there and go and support the cause. Moving into the Rocky Mountain Lacrosse Junior League, which the schedule has been released on the Rocky Mountain Lacrosse League website. The teams have taken to the box to start practicing training camps and cuts. And it begins right after Canada Day. So there's not a lot of time to make these decisions and get these players into tip-top shape. But you know what? It is really exciting that we are back here in the Rocky Mountain Lacrosse League, here in the prairies, back on the floor for the fans and for the players all together for box lacrosse. It's exciting. I'm excited.
It is. It's good news when we're seeing things starting to happen again in box lacrosse. And some more good news for McGill University. There has been a $1 million donation to athletics at McGill from alumni Claude Genera and Miriam Legault. Their son, Louis Charles, played at McGill, and they wanted to donate and really help out. $1 million going to the school, $125,000 of it in the form of 5 $25,000 donations for each of the next 5 years is going to start a fund for excellence in lacrosse at McGill University. So again, some great news there. And just it's nice to have some good news with some of the challenges we've been going through in the last year and a half.
It really is. And you know what? School isn't getting any cheaper. It's getting more expensive. And then also playing sports, there is a cost to it. So these two things coming together to build the athletic program is really exciting. And I tell you what, if I win that 649 here, the Lotto Max, whichever one's the 70 million, I might have to make some donations on my end too.
I'm going to make some donations if I win it. I'd have to buy a ticket, which I haven't done. I don't know when it is even.
But one is right away here. So
okay, I would definitely do the same, and I might just buy myself an NLL team. Who knows? That will do it for this episode of Lacrosse Link. It's been a great show with Jeff Shattler and Sal LoCascio. I'm Steven Stamp for Tanner Fetch. Thanks for being with us. Can't wait to see you next time as well.